Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today is actually the start of a brand new season on BattleSpot, so that means our rating is all the way back to 1500, and to commemorate the new season I am using a brand new team. A lot of you guys were interested in seeing a sand team, so I decided to build one modeled off one of the Japanese players who did very well in the Japan Cup, which is the online qualifier for Japanese VGC Nationals. So using Scarf Tower, Sash, Excadrill, Mixed Mega Salamence, Rotom Wash, Aegislash, and Amoonguss. So we're going to jump onto the ladder currently with a flat rating of 1500, and we'll see how high we can climb up with this team. Would be cool to at least reach 1600 by the end of the week, but we'll see what we can do. And I noticed that one thing that a lot of people were commenting was that I didn't have enough music choices, so make sure to catch up a couple more legendaries and do a bunch more things as we find Dinocon from Greece with a rating of 1579 to kick off the day, just because I do my catching and my breeding on a different game cartridge. But Dinocon here has quite an interesting team of Altaria, Terrakion, Zapdos, Bisharp, Talonflame, and Venusaur. So two potential megas in Venusaur and Altaria. Honestly, I think very likely a double mega team here. Now, Tyranitar Excadrill is actually kind of a solid lead just to kick off the game. Honestly, I do like that a lot. I like Salamence in the back still to deal with Terrakion, Talonflame, Venusaur, and potentially the Altaria. Kind of like Rotom Wash as my last one here, though Amoonguss can definitely make a case for itself, as can Aegislash, so a lot of tempting Pokemon I can bring in this matchup. Rotom Wash does help out a lot against the Terrakion, the Zapdos, and the Talonflame. Part of me, though, wants the Amoonguss so I can switch in and get Rage Powders to redirect attacks away from the Bisharp, which is kind of the biggest threat, I would say. So I'm actually going to go with Amoonguss here, I think. Amoonguss can also check the Terrakion decently well, so I'm going to lock in, and we'll see how this goes. But a very cool team from my opponent's end. And as always, if you enjoy Road to Rank, please share, support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. So we're gonna get into the battle here. Mostly standard picks, I'd say. Outside of the Altaria, my opponent's team looks pretty normal. Although the Zapdos here is quite interesting because I think we're seeing a resurgence in Zapdos. Though Thunder is, normally the more common user, Zapdos can be really helpful with Tailwind. It looks like we are actually just gonna see the Zapdos come out here against my Excadrill and Tyranitar leads. So I'm actually very tempted to just go straight for a double Rock Slide here. Reason being is Terrakion's got a close combat 1 of 2 Pokemon if he manages to avoid getting flinched. If he close combats Excadrill, I've got a Focus Sash and I'll be able to hang on. If he close combats Tyranitar, that means Excadrill conserves its Sash. So I'm actually going to go straight for the Rock Slide here because I don't want that Zapdos really setting a Tailwind either. Most likely, I think the best play for my opponent here is to just Tailwind with Zapdos and go for an attack with Terrakion. But I'm really fine regardless of what he does, and I'm kind of glad I brought Amoonguss now because I do think Amoonguss is very helpful against this kind of lead matchup. But we'll see what my opponent goes for. Maybe he'll just go for like a Heat Wave or something. There's a chance that Zapdos is going to be able to hang on from both Rock Slides as well. So, of course, when you're using Rock Slide, the best move in the game, you also get the flinch factor, which can be very helpful. But regardless, I'm going to be able to do around 30% to Terrakion. Yep, he's going to stay with both Pokemon, so I'm immediately just going to get this first Rock Slide off with Excadrill. Doing a lot. Maybe I can actually knock it out here with my Tyranitar. Let's see. And that's the goal. I was going for the double Rock Slide in hopes of knocking out these Zapdos. As it does, perfect. And Terrakion takes a fair amount of damage, so I prevent any Tailwind from setting up immediately, as let's see if I get the flinch onto Terrakion. Yeah, I do, so that was unfortunate. I was perfectly fine. If he close combated the Tyranitar, like I said, it'd be a free switch into Amoonguss, and I'd still have my Focus Sash. If he close combated my Excadrill, that would also be fine, because it would mean I'd hang on, and I'd still have both of my Pokemon out. So, a relatively safe turn one from me there, I would say. This next turn, I'm actually just going to go for the Rock Slide and the Iron Head onto Terrakion, though he might protect here and go for a Giga Drain. That would probably be his best play. I'm going to play it safe. I know that Terrakion is in KO range at this rate, and I do want to just knock it out. I want to put on some more pressure, too, because right now, Salamence Amoonguss is really good against my opponent's team. If anything, actually, maybe I should have switched Salamence out so I could Mega Evolve and actually make sure that I don't get the Intimidate off in case my opponent has Bisharp as his last one. But if anything, I still have Amoonguss to really help me out as well. And I am max speed Salamence for those wondering. So he is going to go for the safe Protect with Terrakion. Good move on my opponent's end there. I played it a bit too safe here, just going for the Iron Head. But actually, double Rock Slide actually probably would have been better. But it is what it is. If anything, I actually probably sort of switched Tyranitar out into Salamence and gone for the Rock Slide. But I get the flinch. Very unfortunate for my opponent there. I do feel quite bad about that. So You know, that's the nice thing with the Tyranitar Excadrill lead. You have so many chances to flinch immediately. I'm actually going to now switch into Salamence. I did not make the best play that last turn, and I should have been punished for it. He was probably just going to go for a Giga Drain onto Excadrill, though, and that's fine. If anything, though, it just means I conserve my Sash for yet another turn. So I do feel kind of bad for featuring a game like this where I'm just flinching my opponent, but, you know, that's the thing. If your team doesn't have a good way to deal with Rock Slide, you should probably be reconsidering ways. Like, Wide Guard's an incredibly efficient way to deal with it. My opponent having Terrakion here isn't exactly the best answer to Sand either, but, you know, that's not to discount my opponent also. But if anything, I do feel like knocking out the Zapdos was a pretty big play on my first turn here, just because I prevent any flinches or any Tailwind from setting up. And I do think the one way my opponent could have really won this one was through Tailwind, because I feel like the team matchup was already in my favor, so by eliminating the Pokemon that could have potentially even saved my opponent, I did get rid of the biggest threat. But I'm going to play it safer here. I'm going to switch out Tyranitar. Of course, you do see it carries the superpower, so that can help me out against a potential Bisharp in the back. And now I do get the Intimidate off, and I'm going to go for the Earthquake to knock out the Terrakion. Now, he's actually going to switch it out, which is fine. Let's see if Bisharp comes in here. If it's not Bisharp, he's going to be done for. It's going to be Talonflame, not Tyranitar. Although that is actually a pretty good safe switch in for my opponent here, as Earthquake isn't going to do very much to the Venusaur here. We'll see what Venusaur goes for, as I'm not obviously going to be able to flinch anything this turn. He's going to Giga Drain the Excadrill, which is a fine play in that. But now all I have to do is just Hyper Voice Rock Slide. And I think that's a testament to how this team is built. If anything, you know, you kind of get the Intimidates in when you need to, put yourself into a position where you can set up the Sand, and then the Salamence and Excadrill combination is incredibly deadly. So I'm just going to Hyper Voice and Rock Slide here. And there's very little my opponent can do. Maybe he can go for the Rock Slide, not the Rock Slide, the Tailwind with Talonflame. I guess if there's one thing my opponent can do, it's that. But even so, Salamence coming in here is pretty good. And it's going to be really difficult for my opponent, I think, to climb out of this one. I really wish I could have not flinched my opponent, just because I really wanted to see how that would have played out, because I really think right now the game is heavily in my favor, but even without the flinches, it could have worked out. But, I mean, when you're using double Rock Slide, flinching a Pokemon, chances are over 50%. But Venusaur's going to protect here, so let's see if the Talonflame does go for the Tailwind, which could save my opponent. And there you go, he does have the Tailwind, so clutch move to get back into this one, that's for sure, and that's going to give my opponent an opportunity to climb back in. But Talonflame's probably going to go down this turn, so once I stall out the Tailwind, the also important thing is that I've got the Scarf Tar, which means I can outspeed both his Terrakion and his Venusaur. So, let's see. Sand is still up though, which is really good for me, because he's gotta knock out Excadrill. Now the interesting thing here is, I think Excadrill should still be faster than Venusaur, and as a result, he kinda has to close combat. But if he close combats, Hyper Voice wins the game. So I can even play it safer, especially with the Amoonguss in the back. But you know what? I'm just going to go for the win this turn, just because there's little I can really lose here. He'd have to flinch me with a Rock Slide. He's going to go for the Rock Slide, yeah. And he'd have to somehow outspeed me with Venusaur, which could be possible. So my opponent's going to go for the flinches here. Let's see if RNG pays back. Oh, there you go. He gets the flinch onto Excadrill. I was faster than the Venusaur, so let's see if he gets the double flinch here. That would make up for everything that's happened in this game so far. Oh my god, there we go! And Sandstorm subsides. That is so funny. Wow. So I'll bring in Amoonguss here. Well, that makes this match quite interesting. He's gonna Rock Slide again, that's for sure. So to stall out Tailwind, I'm gonna protect here. What I'm going for is actually, I'm gonna go for the, I'm gonna go for the Spore. Actually, no, I should just Giga Drain Terrakion. What I'm doing here is I'm going to stall out one more turn of Tailwind. I'm actually glad my opponent got the double flinch, so I don't feel as bad for how the game went on earlier. Obviously, Pokemon's Pokemon, but, you know, still, this game is just showing Rock Slide is the best move in the game, if anything. Oh, he Sludge Bomb into Sal, and he gets the flinch onto Amoonguss! Oh my gosh! So I'm going to switch into the Tyranitar here for sure, and I'm going to go for the Giga Drain once again onto Terrakion. Because now what this allows me to do is Salamence is actually able to clean up the game, because I'm going to be able to outspeed both of his Pokemon, given that he's not Scarfed on the Terrakion. And basically, I can just come in and get a Hyper Voice off, and that's going to win me the game. But he's going to continue to use Rock Slide. There's really little reason not to. That's your best move at this point. Though he could have predicted my switch out there. He does go for the Sludge Bomb onto... Oh, Tyranitar once again. Interesting. Let's see if he gets the fourth flinch onto Amoonguss. Nope. No flinch there. Though by bringing out the Tyranitar, I actually activate the Sandstorm. Reason why I didn't want to Spore there is I didn't want to walk into a, excuse me, a Lumberry there. So Tailwind Peter's out, which is perfect. Let's see. I mean, he's probably just gonna Giga Drain Tyranitar, but I should just play it safe. I'm just gonna go for the Rock Slide here, and the Giga Drain onto. Actually, nah. I mean, the reason why I want to go for Rock Slide is because Terrakions definitely protecting here, but I don't think I might not be able to knock. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to knock him out. So I'm actually, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. This actually works out perfectly. Yeah. Get the Regenerator boost with Amoonguss and go for the Superpower. Worst comes to worst, he goes for the Giga Drain onto Tyranitar, gets a crit, knocks me out, but then I just Hyper Voice and win the game the next turn. So, should be able to seal this one up despite the triple Rock Slide flinch in the end there. But once again, you know, that's to be expected, honestly. Rock Slide's just too good of a move. Yeah, so Giga Drain doesn't knock out Tyranitar here, and that should be game here. He's definitely going for the double protect here with Tyranitar, I think. Or not Terrakion. If he gets it, actually could be a scary finish here, because, yeah, I'm just going to Superpower and go for the Hyper Voice. Oh, wow, I should actually think about this. No, I should, yeah, I mean, so the interesting thing here is if he gets the double and Sludge Bomb Salamence and I don't knock out the Venusaur, he can actually win this one. That's very scary. You know what? Hyper Voice knocks out Terrakion anyway. So I'm actually going to switch out so I can get future Rock Slides off. Let's see. And Double Edge isn't going to be knocking out that Venusaur since I'm mixed and I'm not invested in attack at all. He doesn't get the double protect though, which is fortunate, but still it's going to be a tight finish this game. Actually, nope, never mind. Hyper Voice knocks out Venus. Oh, I actually get the crit there. Not sure how bulky he was since I'm like max special attack. Of course, that was a spread move. So he was going to go for the Sludge Bomb, but then a Tyranitar comes in and I get a Crunch and a Giga Drain off. And I don't think he would have been able to deal with sand damage as well. But really close game actually to finish off today after a very lucky start on my end. So pretty great game at that. Rock Slide totaling for 5 flinches, and when I was getting some practice games in with another on my other DS with this team, it's funny because like every game was decided by Rock Slide 2, mainly from my opponent's end since I wasn't using it as much. But that just goes to show how good Rock Slide is. I'm probably gonna want to bring my Aegislash in the future just so I can wide guard and prevent myself from getting flinched. But we're gonna jump onto the ladder and find our second game of today's episode. So quite the interesting one to start off today, but. Let's see if my opponent, what my opponent brings for the second match. And, you know, Tyranitar Excadrill did exactly what it needed to there. Set up the sand and just kind of outspeed my opponent and overwhelm them with offense right from the beginning. And, you know, I was very happy to see the Terrakion and the Zapdos lead from my opponent. And ultimately, you know, I do think I brought the right Pokemon. Even if those flinches didn't go in my favor in the beginning of the game, I do think Amoonguss would have helped out a significant amount. Though it's definitely scary since I didn't have a great way to deal with Venusaur, but... we're going to find Wraith from Georgia with a rating of 15-16 for our second opponent of the day. Wraith here has quite the interesting team as well of Lopunny, Mienshao, not Mienshao, Lopunny, yeah, that is Mienshao, Rotom Wash, Liepard, Volcarona, and, jeez, I have not seen that Pokemon in forever. I am literally blanking out on his name right now. That's ridiculous. I know it gets, for some reason, I want to call it Guillotine. Oh, Gliscor, that's what it's called. And that's not Mienshao. Wow, look at me just mixing up all my Pokemon today. That is not a Mienshao, that's a Meowstic. Lots of Fake Out users on my opponent's team, which is kind of interesting. Kind of want to just lead with Amoonguss here. I think Amoonguss, like, Tyranitar is really good, yeah. Salamence in the back. Rotom Wash is my last one. I'm going to lock in here. I feel relatively confident with that. So, let's see how this plays out. You know, Amoonguss being able to redirect attacks is always really good, which is why I like pairing it up with Tyranitar. You know, Tyranitar, Scarftar especially, which was, by the way, really popular at the end of VGC 2013, as we see the Meowstic Liepard lead from my opponent here, which I'm perfectly okay with. Scarftar is really solid, but of course it's weak to fighting type attacks, especially those Mach Punches out. So... you know, I set up the Sand, which is already pretty nice, because Liepard's often a Pokemon that sometimes likes carrying Focus Sash. You can also Protect. Let's see. I'm gonna go for the Spore onto Meowstic, and actually I'm gonna double up on Meowstic here. I'd rather get rid of Meowstic. He does go for the Fake Out onto Amoonguss, which is fine because he's gonna be taking that Rocky Helmet damage, which is always great. Let's see what the... oh, he goes for the double Fake Out. Okay, that's fine with me. That, you know, Tyranitar flinches, Amoonguss flinches. He also doesn't know I'm Scarfed yet, which is pretty cool. I don't really know what my opponent's going to be going for, but I'm not very worried. He can't set up Tailwind either. That would be like my biggest potential fear. So I'm actually going to Rage Powder and Rock Slide here. Rock Slide should be a 2AK onto Liepard. I'm not going to go for the Crunch. And because I didn't go for the, because he flinched me, I'm not locked into Crunch immediately. So let's see. Here he goes for the taunt there. Good play with Liepard. Let's see what he goes for with the Meowstic. The Safeguard coming out. Very cool. So, really blocking any potential options I had there. He could also potentially Swagger himself, which could make for an interesting game. But Rock Slide does a very nice amount of damage to both of my opponent's Pokemon there. And, you know, so far he just hasn't been able to do very much. And he's not Citrus with Meowstic either, which is interesting. So I'm probably going to want to switch Amoonguss out here, though I could just go for a Giga Drain, but I want to conserve that, I want to, first of all, you know, switching out gives me the Regenerator health, so I heal all the way back up, and then I can Spore in consequent turns once I knock out this Meowstic. So I'm going to bring in Rotom Wash here. Let's see what he goes for with his 2 priority Pokemon. He's going to go for that Torment, a really good move, but he targets the Rotom Wash as the Thunder Wave comes out. So nicely played there. That's unfortunately obviously going to slow down my Scarftar, but perhaps a bit late here. As long as I get this Rock Slide off, and I do, and it connects with both Pokemon. So, fortunately enough, Rock Slide connecting, and it doesn't knock out Meowstic, unfortunately, but Liepard goes down. So far, all my opponent's been able to do was paralyze Tyranitar, basically, and set up a Safeguard. I mean, that's good, especially because I can't burn a potential Gliscor or even the Lopunny, which I think is going to come in here for my opponent. Yep, it's going to be a Lopunny. I'm not very surprised there. So, let's see. I'm going to just go for the Thunderbolt, and I'm going to switch Tyranitar out into Amoonguss. Yeah. He might fake Rotom out, he might go for a Drain Punch maybe. Oh, he switches Meowstic. Yep, that's fine. But Volcarona comes in. That's okay with me. Because Volcarona comes in, I'm suspecting he's going to go for a Fighting type attack onto Tyranitar, and I'm hoping that's the case, because once that Mienshao, not the Mienshao, wow, I'm really mixing up all these Pokemon today. Once that Lopunny goes down, Tyranitar comes in and just Rock Slides away. But can definitely be a scary finish to the game right now. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, he goes for the Drain Punch onto, yeah, Amoonguss. So perfect for me here. He's going to be taking Rocky Helmet damage, and Sandstorm damage, and Thunderbolt damage. So really good turn for me here. Let's see how much this does. A good amount. And the nice thing here is Lopunny is faster than Volcarona, so he's going to have to attack before the Volk. What do I want to do this next turn, though? I've also got Salamence in the back, which is obviously really good for me. I think I'm just going to Rage Powder and Hydro Pump. I think Salamence at this point already wins me the game, and he actually withdraws a Lopunny, which is even better for me, maybe conserving that Fake Out. So I was trying to redirect a potential return, high jump kick, you know, whatever, from that Lopunny, but that's going to be even better. Amoonguss redirects the attacks away here. He goes for the Fiery Dance. Wow, have not seen that attack in maybe forever. That's going to target down Amoonguss. I think he'll be able to knock me out, actually. Yep, very nicely done there. So Amoonguss faints, and it's basically the best turn my opponent could have asked for, as he does take Life Orb recoil. Interesting. And Hydro Pump, however, unfortunately connects for my opponent, so I've been pretty fortunate in terms of hitting my attacks today. That's not going to knock it out since I'm a very, very bulky Rotom Wash, but that's fine because Tyranitar is able to come back in as Sandstorm ends this turn. So I did just get to reset it, and with Salamence in the back, I'm going to be able to beat that Lopunny with relative confidence. So things working out pretty nicely here. I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt onto Meowstic and the Rock Slide. Volcarona is going to faint from its own Life Orb recoil damage, if not the Sandstorm. So he's going to go for the Fake Out onto Tyranitar, but he's going to get double knocked out here anyway. Oh, but he's got the Giga Drain! Nice! I should have anticipated that, actually. And Thunderbolted the Volcarona instead. Ooh, clutch move. But that's proccing my Citrus Berry. That makes this match a bit more interesting, though. I should have Thunderbolted Volcarona for the win. So, a small blunder on my end there. There was little reason to Thunderbolt Meowstic, and I should have expected Giga Drain as well. But that makes this match a bit more interesting. Though that Volcarona is already at very low HP as well. So, let's see. Safeguard goes down, not that it was really doing much, but hey, now we've at least got a game. But what I'm going to do this next turn is switch my Tyranitar out into Salamence. Now, he could potentially win this one if that Lopunny has Ice Punch and he Ice Punches Tyranitar. But I think that's too risky of a play for him to make. But who knows? Let's see. When you're in my opponent's position, you gotta find the one play you can make to win. So let's see if my opponent assesses this correctly. But the Intimidate will, obviously shut down the Lopunny a bit with the Intimidate. Let's see what he goes for. The Moment of Truth. No, the Fake Out just comes out. Okay. And probably the Giga Drain onto Rotom Wash. Oh, that did a lot of damage, actually. As Sandstorm damage continues to tick down. I think that Volcarona is going to faint after one more turn of Sandstorm damage. Nope. It's got 2 more turns left. He's going to knock out Rotom. I'm wondering if I really want to switch out here. An Ice Punch could be really scary. But, you know what? I'll let him KO Rotom here, Mega Evolve, and just Protect. So I get the speed boost. And then, we'll see if he has Ice Punch or not, because if he has Ice Punch, I'm not sure if -1 Ice Punch can knock me out since Mega Salamence is so bulky, but I guess we'll find out. It's going to be a close finish, though, that's for sure, after a very clutch Giga Drain on my opponent's end, and I should not have... Oh, he does have the Ice Punch, very nice. Giga Drain's going to knock out the Rotom here. Alright, so let's see how this game finishes up. I guess a crit there. Just gravy on top of that one. The interesting thing here is if he chooses to Ice Punch Salamence, it means Tyranitar gets a free attack off. And he's at very low HP with both of his Pokemon, so I don't think he can really afford me. Yeah, I think I should be fine regardless. Now, he's basically got to hope for a Paralysis at this rate. So I'm going to bring in the Tyranitar. Hyper Voice knocks out both of my opponent's Pokemon, so he's obviously got to target down the Salamence if he wants to win this one. So I'm just going to Rock Slide and Hyper Voice. Because Lopunny here, yep, he's going to be able to outspeed. He's going to get the Ice Punch off. That's probably going to knock me out. Oh, I hang on. Wow. So, really clutch survival by Mega Salamence there. That's why it's such a good Mega Evolution. As it picks up the double knockout, it's going to be able to seal up the game. So, I would have been able to win that one regardless, as long as I didn't get fully paralyzed with Tyranitar. But if I did get fully paralyzed with Tyranitar, I would have lost. But I was playing knowing that Salamence had a good chance of surviving there as well, since it's really, really bulky. Even though I'm not running bulk, just -1. Lopunny's Ice Punch isn't very powerful to begin with. So, we are able to pick up 2 wins to kick off the very first Road to Ranked of Season 10, which is always nice. We'll see how many more wins we can rack up as we continue to climb up on the online ladder. But that is going to be it for this episode. Sorry it was a bit later than normal, but I got home from school pretty late today. As like I mentioned, it is my final week of high school, so just trying to finish things up. But hope you guys enjoyed this new team. Had a lot of fun games with it already. I mean, it's only been 2, but I definitely enjoyed them a lot. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed it like always, and I shall see you tomorrow. Alright, peace.